So next up, we have Governor Cuomo cancels Thanksgiving. That's right, Governor Andrew Cuomo cancels Thanksgiving. So Governor Cuomo of New York prohibits gatherings of more than 10 people at private residences. Yes, let's say that again. Governor Cuomo says that you can't have more than 10 people at your house in your private home. You can't do that, according to him. We have a couple of clips on that, but before we get to that, I want to hear Brian Chisholm's comment on this. What do you think, Brian?
I did. It's absurd at its on the very surface to begin with. But I did have this question because when I heard this, I was like, well, if we talk about equality and equity and all that, so what if Cuomo lives in a 7,000 square foot mansion and his brother David lives in a 500 square foot apartment? Is it fair that David can have 10 and Governor Cuomo can only have 10 as well? Because I think you could space out better than the 7,000 square foot. But it just goes to show the insanity. And I can't believe we're even here. I mean, we've seen a lot of evolution in this country.
Scary.
But it's scary to me that we have governors going out telling people how many people they can have gather in their private residence for Thanksgiving.
It is. It's absolutely scary. And get this, the New York sheriffs, many New York sheriffs have refused to enforce that rule, limiting 10 people per private residence. So here's Fulton County Sheriff Giardino saying he will not enforce the governor's orders. Obviously, that's really a good thing. So finally, sheriffs are like pushing back and saying, well, you want me to enforce that? You want me to go like knock on someone's door and say, sorry, it's your house, I know, but there are more than 10 people here, so therefore, we're going to start arresting people. We have that clip, and here it is.
But by the same token, one of the worst things we're seeing is the isolation of people not being able to engage with other people. Now, there's a big difference between setting a time limit at bars, setting a number of people at bars and restaurants, and social distancing, and getting together with your own family. Constitutionally, there's some problems with an executive order. There's no sanctions. I can't go arrest somebody. They don't get fined. Giving them the benefit of the doubt, I believe his intent is to try to slow things, but I think it does more damage. I live in a county of 55,000 people, and unlike the governor, I believe people in my county are smart enough to make their own decisions.
Thoughts about that? People making their own decisions. You're on HGO. Do you think there's probably, since you're on Health and Government Operations Committee in the state of Maryland, and you're a member of the House of Delegates, clearly there must be a lot of mental health issues as a result of people not being able to gather.
Yeah, we mentioned bipartisan issues earlier, and I think that the suicide problem that we face in the state of Maryland is horrible. It is gut-wrenching. I don't care who you are. You sit in there and hear some of these stories. It's terrible to listen to. It's a serious problem. And, if you think about this, we do have mental health issues. But one of the number one causes of suicide is loneliness. And people tell you that all the time. Loneliness is a scary place to be and to be in fear. And when you're telling people that they can't gather, there's something magical and vital about the human interaction. And you have to be able to have that human interaction to find real peace and love in your life. And if you want people to just stay at home and not gather with the people that they have gathered with over generations, this has got long sustaining problems that are attached to it. And when you let them in the door, as you and I both know, it's hard to get stuff back from the government once they take it.
Absolutely. So well said. So get this. Mayor de Blasio has a snitch line. So, remember, if you have more than 10 people at Thanksgiving, don't worry. You can always call or text Mayor de Blasio with information, secretive information and pictures, because Mayor de Blasio has a snitch line. We have a clip on that with Mayor de Blasio talking about the snitch line himself. You can't believe it. Here it is.
Now it is easier than ever when you see a crowd, when you see a line that's not distanced, when you see a supermarket that's too crowded, anything, you can report it right away so we can get help there to fix the problem. And now it's as simple as taking a photo. All you got to do is take the photo and put the location with it, and bang, send a photo like this, and we will make sure that enforcement comes right away. Text the photo to 311-692, and action will ensue. Enforcement will come to get the help we need, or you can use the 311 app, send that photo there, and you'll make sure immediately there's follow-up. Look, this is important. I want to keep reminding people, it's about saving lives. Sending that photo in is going to help make sure that people are kept apart, and that's going to stop the disease from spreading, and that's going to save
So that's
lives.
right out of 1984. So here's what I would suggest to all podcast listeners. Take a selfie with you and all of your friends at Thanksgiving. And even if you don't live in New York City or New York, take a selfie with all of their friends, and everybody flip the bird to Mayor de Blasio and send it to him to that text number. I mean, that's what needs to happen. That's what needs to happen, right? Because you are responsible for yourself. Ultimately, it is your house. The people that you have in your home is up to you. Final thoughts on this?
Yeah, it bothers me deeply that they have weaponized the American public. So now you can now seek revenge. What if it's your ex-girlfriend that's mad at you and finds out you're having 6 or 7 people at your house, and then she calls this text line and says, yeah, she has 12 there. Well, they're going to show up and they're going to harass you. And that has happened to small businesses. I've been fighting for every small business in Anne Arundel County, where I don't think we have to go to New York. Our Anne Arundel County executive is along these lines as well. And I have businesses telling me that they have health inspectors now have been deputized, and I haven't gotten proof on that yet, by the liquor board going in, and that's the one thing that they know that they can threaten with. We will take your liquor license. If you're a restaurant without a liquor license, you might as well close up the doors today. But what they've done is they've weaponized both the health department, the liquor board, and private citizens to go put businesses out. So if you don't like a business for one reason or another, instead of letting the free market work and letting people decide for themselves, we've allowed people to go destroy other families, other people, and other businesses with this line of thinking in the quote-unquote interest of saving lives, which is, it has no statistical proof behind it whatsoever. And I've never walked into somebody's house and been surprised that so many people were there and felt in danger and felt like I had to stay. You can leave if you want. I've never been surprised by or felt fear in somebody's house because too many people were there, or even in my own house. We all have the ability to make our own decisions and apply critical thinking. And this is more of the government knows best. We're gonna put the fear of God into you. And if you don't listen to us, we're gonna have your neighbors call on you. And that's a very sad place to be. And you were talking about, dividing the country up. What does this do? This divides neighbor against neighbor, brother against brother again, and it's horrible.
So well said. I couldn't say it better.